bit slow. Yeah. So in 2021, first after, the company has reached several important key milestones, further strengthening the company and demonstrating our capacity to become a floating wind market leader. I would like to thank in particular the team for its impressive work in a rapidly evolving environment. Ideol has been created in March 2021 following the acquisition of Ideol SA, building on more than 10 years of floating wind experience and the listing of the new entity on Euronext Growth Oslo. We have signed key agreements during the period, including an engineering contract and a license agreement for the Olmed 30 MW pilot project. We have signed a partnership agreement with a leading utility in preparation to the South Brittany tender in France. We have signed a collaboration agreement with Hitachi ABB Power Grids to develop industry-first floating substation solution. We have signed a joint development agreement with ENEOS Corporation in Japan for the development of a commercial-scale floating wind farm. And we are pleased to announce today that we have also submitted 2 applications for the ScotWind tenders with our joint venture partner for a total of 2.1 GW. That we have signed a design and engineering service contract with an undisclosed leading partner for a commercial scale floating wind farm in Taiwan, and that we have signed today head of term of a partnership agreement with an undisclosed leading party for a commercial scale wind farm in Italy. By the end of June, we have a cash position above 46 million euro, supporting our growth ambitions. Over the period, the floating wind market has demonstrated its unique growth trajectory. Just for the ScotWind tenders, the current state Scotland has received more than 74 applications for sites, of which around 50% of them will be developed based on floating foundation due to the water depth prevailing on these sites. Leading utilities, including, for example, Ørsted, have announced over the period their strategic decision to move into the floating wind market. So this market evolution confirms and further confirms our ambitious 2030 goals of being involved in 10 GW of growth portfolio projects, with projects in the main markets, mainly France, Japan, UK, and California, of which around 15% in operation, and targeting a return on equity above 15%. Ideol has built a unique value proposition covering the whole floating wind assets life cycle, from development, execution to operation, building on our technical skills or unique technology and the return of experience of our real assets in operation. This unique value proposition is the entry point to a dual-leg strategy, to be positioned as co-developer and as floater EPCI contractor, giving the sufficient agility to adapt to the market potential evolutions. Achieve our 2030 goals, we are building a unique project pipeline with strong partners. So, as mentioned, we have submitted 2 applications for a total of 2.1 GW in the ScotWind tender, in partnership with Elisio and Baiwa, a consortium that is offering a unique blend of experience from successful offshore wind development and a decade-long presence in Scottish market. In support of this application, we have secured 2 grid connections with the national grid operator in July 2021. In France, we have signed a partnership agreement with a leading utility in preparation to the South Brittany tender in April 2021. The South Brittany tender is a tender for commercial projects of around 250 MW. Pre-qualification documents were to be submitted in June 2021, with the list of pre-qualified companies that is expected to be disclosed in the coming days. We have also signed a joint development agreement with ENEOS Corporation in July 2021 for a commercial scale project in Japan. ENEOS is the largest oil refiner and distributor in Japan, with annual revenues above 76 billion euros. So BW Ideol has, with this additional project in Japan, as one of the largest floating wind pipeline under development in Japan, with a total of around 2 GW. To put it in perspective, the government of Japan has set a target of 10 GW of offshore wind projects by 2030 and 45 GW by 2040. We are also pleased to announce today that we have signed, in addition to long-term partnership, we have signed the head of term of a partnership agreement today with for a floating wind project in Italy with an undisclosed leading renewable energy developer. And we have signed an initial design and engineering service agreement in Taiwan for a commercial scale floating wind farm with an undisclosed leading counterparty in Taiwan that has been signed in July 2021. The team is also making unique progress on scaling and optimizing the technology in parallel. We have signed a collaboration agreement with Hitachi ABB Power Grids in June 2021, building on a long-term cooperation with them to introduce into the market a first floating substation solution. Floating substation was a missing part for deep-sea floating wind developments, and we are bringing this together with ABB, Hitachi ABB, that is providing the modular compact substation package for installation on BW Ideol dumping pool solutions, so floater, with a topside integration in the port and not offshore. And it is addressing all the market requirements, even in the most challenging environmental and seabed conditions. In parallel, we have also progressed in qualifying a market changer new mooring line product. It is based on a collaboration with Brydon Bekaert, a leading supplier of advanced cable and rope solutions, in particular for the offshore industry, with whom we have signed an exclusive joint product development agreement in mid-2020. In July 2021, we are pleased to have deployed the first testing samples on Flogen. We have also obtained confirmation from an independent confirmation on our Flogen demonstrator power curve based on independent measurements report from UL in partnership with the University of Stuttgart. It confirms the unique wind turbine performance of Flogen. We had on Flogen an accumulated production above 16 gigawatt as of the end of June, from the beginning of the commissioning of the assets, with close to 93% average availability. We are also progressing and enhancing our knowledge on the potential environmental impact of our solutions. We have set up a joint R&D program with the Central Nantes University in France to better define the seabed and bat population near the SEMREF and the Flogen test site, and to study the interaction between the seabirds and the Flogen demonstrator using video monitoring and testing innovative and optimized monitoring methods. As you can see, the floater is a resting area for several seabirds, and we are using these assets to have further analysis and study on the interaction between the two. That is one of the key topics with our developments. We are also strengthening the global organization of BW Ideol, in particular leveraging on BW Offshore organization. We have created together with them a joint renewable power services task force that is jointly offering and targeting floating substation and power to platform solutions, helping to leverage BW extensive execution track record of large-scale offshore projects and benefiting from BW market presence with special emphasis on power to FPSO solutions, and we have ongoing discussion with potential first customer. We are also conducting joint review of BW Ideol processes, including, for example, insurance, procurement, accounting, IT, and quality, in order to identify potential optimization and synergy, and to define the support needed from BW Offshore. We are also continuing to build a highly qualified team with the right and unique competencies. The staff number has increased by around 12% during the period, with 11 new position fields covering several aspects from engineering, but also project management, tendering, asset management, human resources, or financial and accounting. We are extending our leadership team with the creation of a new position as head of legal starting from August 2021. In average, the team has 39 years old, representing around 8 nationalities. And we will continue to grow our team based in Tokyo with Japanese nationals, encompassing our core competencies including business development, but also engineering and support to installation. I will leave the floor to Nicolas for the presentation on the financials.
Thank you, Paul. So total operating revenue for the period was 1.3 million euros, of which 0.7 million came from design and engineering activities related to projects in France and Japan. Operating loss before depreciation and amortization was 3.9 million euros, reflecting 3.4 million of headcount-related costs and 1.5 million of other expense, including one-off transaction expenses related to the BW Ideol AS and Ideol SA combination. And the net loss for the period was 7.3 million euros. As of June 30, total equity was 122 million, and the equity ratio was 80.6%. Sorry. Interest-bearing debt was 7.7 million, and during the period, the group proceeded with the repayment of a bond held by CM Offshore for a total amount of 0.85 million euros, including principal and capitalized interest. Net cash outflow from operating activities was negative 3.9 million euros for the period. Net cash outflow from investment activities, including the cash consideration of the acquisition of Ideol SA, was 52.5 million euros. Net cash inflow from financing activity was 100 million euros, including 52 million euros raised from BW Offshore to finance the cash portion of Ideol SA acquisition, and 51.1 million euros of IPO proceeds, including the partial exercise of the green shoe. At the end of June, cash position of the company remained strong, amounting to 46.2 million euros, and position us for future growth plans.
So as a summary, we are making good progress on executing our dual leg strategy as co-developer of floating wind project, but also as floater EPCI contractor. We are further developing and expanding a significant gigawatt pipeline of floating wind projects over the world. We are scaling and optimizing both the technology and the organization with the support now of BW Offshore, confirming our ambition of being the leading long-term owner of floating wind assets in key markets across the globe. And we are confirming that we are on track on our 2030 goals of being engaged in approximately 10 gigawatt of growth portfolio projects. Thank you for your attention. We are now opening up for questions.
Okay,